Hey guys, what's up? Do not miss this session. I repeat, do not miss this session. If you're either a business owner or a marketer operating in any aspect of digital marketing, this is the only video that you would need to either generate leads and scale leads for your business or to go ahead and do a wonderful job with lead generation for your client's business. As simple as that. Let's see how a traditional funnel works. So this is where you have awareness. Now, once you have awareness, you need to go ahead and figure out, you need to generate interest among people who are your potential customers. Then you need to create the desire for them to go ahead and purchase your product. And then you have A, which is try and give them the attention that they need even after the purchase. So this is how a traditional funnel looks like, or this is what it looks like in a traditional world, whether you're using AI or not AI or otherwise. Now, this is where you have the top of the funnel, where you have a lot of videos that you create using Gen AI, content creation tools in bulk and things like that. Now, once you've created that content, it is very important for you to use either your email flows or other ways to nurture your conversations with these potential clients to go ahead and give them all the information that you need. The segmentation that we're talking about happens at this stage, where you segment your audiences based upon what their requirements are and serve them that specific content through a lot of automations that's possible. Now, how do you create the desire for people who are interested in your product or service? Now, this is where you go ahead and try and sell them anything, right? Now, this is where your automations come into play. This is where your remarketing campaigns come into play. This is basically where all the selling or conversions happen. Now, once you have converted them, you need to go ahead and, so how do you sell them? You sell them by giving them personalized offers, where you tell them that we know you have been looking at a pair of shoes. Now we know that you're interested, so here is a 10% discount, blah, blah, blah. And this is how you go ahead and make sales using your paid ad campaigns or your cold email or whatever, whichever way works. Now then you have the post-sale activity, where you go ahead and upsell or cross-sell anything by giving them personalized suggestions. Now this is how a traditional funnel works. Now why are we talking about this? Now the gold mine of any business that's operating in the lead gen world is the revenue or the conversions. Now, all your dollars are hidden or buried deep inside this funnel, and the more you optimize this funnel is where you will get most of the results. Now, how do you know what to fix? How do you fix the funnel when you don't know what's broken? If you do not know what to fix, there is no point in trying to fix anything because you don't know where there is a leakage. Now, how do you do that? You do that by auditing your funnel. Now, auditing your funnel or auditing your paid ad campaigns in the traditional world was simple. You go ahead, look at your campaigns, you look at your data, you look at your conversions, you look at your cost per click, and then you did all the manual optimization that you could specifically for Google Ads or Facebook campaigns. Now, how do you audit your funnel when there is so much of data and there is so many channels that you're trying to promote your product at the same time? And how do you audit that manually? It is almost impossible. So that is where you will audit your funnel using AI tools and AI powered strategies, and that's exactly what this session is going to be about. And that is why I asked you not to miss this session. Auditing your lead gen funnel in simple terms that you need to remember is find what's broken and fix it. If you are a business owner or a marketer, this is all you need to go ahead and fix your lead gen funnel. Now, the first thing is define the scope of audit and goals. Now, analyze what your goals are going to be. What are you optimizing for? What are your leads about, right? So understand if it is a sign up and then there are other push efforts in terms of cold calling after that, or there is sales happening after that over the telephone. So understand what the scope of your project is and what the goal of your lead gen campaigns are. Now, because that will define your entire set of activities and what needs to be fixed. The second thing is data integration and preparation. So you have Google Ads, you have Facebook ads, you have email, you have YouTube content, and then you have, let's say, SMS marketing. Then you have a lot of other channels, forums and affiliates and all those channels, right? So to bring all this data into one place, because this data has to be fed into the system. Now, all this data has to come into one place, which is powered by AI, thankfully. And then it goes ahead and collates all this information to be plugged into your lead gen audit. Now, how do you bring all that data is where we would be looking at, is what is interesting. Now, if you look at this tool, which is called Coupler.ai, there is also funnels.io, which is kind of expensive, and I don't think if they have a free trial, but I think Coupler.io does the same thing. But then you can go ahead and connect all your data sources and then get all the data into one place, whether it is data from your ad campaigns, data from your CRM, data from all YouTube channels, content, Instagram, all those channels, right? So how do you do that? So you collect your sources, you go here, or to even make it simpler, it says connect your data source. Now connect your first data source. You can connect your data sources from all these aspects, right? So you can connect your Google Analytics data, Google Ads, LinkedIn Ads, Facebook Ads, TikTok. There is almost pretty much everything here that you need to go ahead and connect. But if you don't have that, if you have another platform that you're using, which is not directly be able to either integrate into this, or if you have an ongoing practice where you kind of maintain all this data all together, you can simply get that data into a CSV file. We need some sample data here, right? So that this data should be populated here. Now let's say, copy this. This is not too many channels at the end of the day, but don't worry, if you have too many channels, this is a good way to go ahead and link them. So go to Coupler.io and then paste it here, right? And then, okay, there is something wrong. Edit it. Okay, what's wrong with this? Okay. Continue. Just say finish and proceed. Source has been successfully updated. Now this is where my data is residing now. Now once this is here, you go back and then you will look at your, now this is the data, and see how the data has been. So you come here, you also link a destination sheet, which means anything that has been applied and all that data, when it is collated, when it is modified, where should it go to. I've linked a destination account as well. I'm just going to say continue, and then let's say save and run, right? So importing data from the sources, last import, automatic data refresh. Okay, now this data will automatically be updated. So let's say save and close. So I have connected one data, right? No runs next in 41 minutes. You can go ahead and look at I have my sources and destination. So it will take data from this source that I have given, or you can, and then I have also a destination. Now look at the templates to visualize. That will give you a basic idea as to how your data will be visualized, right? So let's click on this. Let's say PPC. This is PPC data that we're talking about, and then you will go ahead and look at how all the data connected from you can go ahead and connect data from all these sources, and then finally you can create a dashboard. And when you create the dashboard, you will see this under my dashboards, and it will seem something like this, right? So let's go ahead and see if there is any data in this. This is not connected, so you will not see it, but when you will go ahead and look at all the data in your dashboards. So all the data points that you have here, now this can either be linked to another tool if you have, or you can just visualize all this data, use platforms like ChatGPT to go ahead and run some analysis. Now once you have all that data connected, then you need to go ahead and look at the next stage, which is data integration preparation is done. Now funnel mapping and visualization has to be understood. Now if there is a lot of data coming in, let's say you have Google data, you have analytics data, you have Facebook ads, YouTube, all the data coming in, you have collated all the data into one place. Now once you have that data, now you need to go ahead and visualize your funnels. Now this is there is a tool called, you don't want to be spending a lot of money on these tools which are fancy. So if you look at Gero, I think this is a decent enough tool, which is about $37 per month, I think. Yeah, $37 per month. You can get Gero, and then what this does is it will go ahead and visualize your funnel this way, right? So you can simply drag and drop your funnels just to visualize what's happening, right? And you can do this using a tool called Funnelytics, where you need to go ahead and understand what's happening in your funnel. You need to visualize your funnel. Now look at this. You have a product that you're selling, or if you have a service that you're selling, your data is scattered across different platforms, and you rarely get an opportunity to look at everything in one go. Now there are tools like Segmetrics, there are a lot of even analytics for that matter, or heat map tools like Hotjar, which is Content Square now. Now all these tools will give you an insight of standalone siloed pieces of information. But if you want to look at your entire funnel, you want to be looking at the entire funnel, not just a landing page. Now you need a tool like Funnelytics for that. You can also get this done using analytics just to get an overview of your data. But then there are a few aspects. Agreed, Funnelytics is expensive, but there are certain areas where you will go ahead and benefit a ton if you're using tools like these. Because basically what it looks at is it'll help you where the gaps are. It'll also help you how do you bridge those gaps and what your ideal funnel should look like and what is missing so that you can go ahead and fix that, right? So let's say if I want to show you something with, it's just a visual builder. Now look at this. It's just a visual builder where you go ahead and look at all your, you map your funnels, you add your products, you look at the activity, except that it is fueled by your own data. Now, this is what your funnel will look like. This is sources of traffic and then which pages people go to, what's happening. This is all your real data, right? And you will also be able to identify where people are. And you will also look at where people are dropping off and so that you can go ahead and fix that. Now, this insight or this information will go ahead and help you to go ahead and reverse engineer things. You can look at people's step-by-step journey as in what would need to happen for you to go ahead and hit your numbers, and all that overview of information is available from here. Now you take these pointers of what is missing in your funnel and then you can go ahead and find out ways to fix that using either ChatGPT or other AI tools, or to get other suggestions from other LLMs if you want, or just plainly understand what is broken and just fix it. Now, the next thing that we would be talking about is after you have mapped your funnel, then you need to go ahead and look at lead quality and lead scoring analysis. Now, this is a little interesting to me because if you look at lead scoring, basically it is all predictive metrics, right? You will go ahead and look at your lead quality and then you can go ahead and find out ways you can maximize those leads, and you can kind of identify predictive models so that your data will be fed in, and then it goes ahead and looks at the future and how it might look like. Now, there is one thing that you need to remember, especially with working with AI and data. If you're not sure about the accuracy of your data, if you have inaccurate data being reported, there is no point in using predictive metrics because it will only further screw up the system. Now, bad data comes in, bad decisions get made, and you will lose a lot of sales and a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money in the process. Now, to avoid that, you need to go ahead and set up some predictive models. There are tools like Julius AI. Usually this is done by Akkio, which is AKKIO, but it is kind of expensive. And if you would want to look at a cheaper alternative, you can look at a tool like Julius. You just have to sign up. There's a free trial also if you want to experiment. Now you can go ahead and upload a file that you have, your data, so that it will go ahead and look at this data and then try and predict if things go this way, what could be predicted. And these predictive metrics will go ahead and help you understand where you can take your business to. Now there is, let's look at some sample data, choose from sample files. So I'm just uploading this data sheet. Now, what would you like to analyze? Now, I want to analyze, let's say, just simply auto-analyze my data. You have uploaded this sheet, and then Julius will go ahead. It will just work like how your ChatGPT works, and then it goes ahead and generates code. It does all the things in the back end. It is like an AI agent, which will go ahead and help you, give you a beautiful front end with the analysis, but what happens in the back end is what you get to see, right? Now, you can go ahead and change the tools that you would want. You will go ahead and change the default model that you can choose. You can choose any of these models to run the analysis based on the data. It will go ahead and give you predictive metrics. So let's see what happens in the end. I'll analyze the marketing campaign data for you. Let me start by loading and exploring the data set, understand structure and contents, blah, blah, blah. So look at this. You upload a file, you run the analysis and share your analysis. Click the share button at the top of the chat once you're done. Now, this is the process that takes on in the back end. You can also go ahead and advanced reason if you have a pro account, and then you can go dig deeper, get better insights, get better predictions. All right. So this is still in the process. So basically what's happening here is it goes ahead and see inaccurate data, and if you're following up with, if your lead quality is not up to the mark, it'll directly impact your sales. So basically what tools like Julius or Akkio will do is they go ahead and look at scoring your leads in a way for you to go ahead and achieve your ideal let's say conversion metrics. Now, once you have these lead qualities assigned, then you go ahead and keep analyzing these results to see if the scoring is appropriate. Because if you're not scoring your leads, you will not know what leads you're focusing on, What if you're focusing 80% effort on a lead that only gets you 20% of revenue, or sometimes even nothing, right? So to avoid that, you implement models like these by uploading your data, get as much analysis as possible, and then you will start scoring these leads going forward as a constant practice, so that you constantly are focusing on leads which are high converting leads than focusing on leads which don't actually matter to you, right? So that's basically what this analysis will help you understand, and it will go ahead and look at the metrics of education level distribution, age distribution of the customers, right? It will go ahead and help you analyze age ranges from young adults to blah blah blah. Most customers are graduates followed. So it gives you analysis of your data that you have uploaded, and then you can go ahead and finally understand what you can from these metrics and then take measures accordingly. So that's pretty much about your predictive modeling. Then you have content engagement review. You can go ahead and upload these metrics on a ton of platforms like ChatGPT. You can use tools like ManyChat to go ahead and review your metrics of the content, of how many people commented on your post, and then how many people did you respond, and when you pitched something, how many people converted. All those metrics with respect to content can be achieved with tools like ManyChat or simple good old ChatGPT. Now, process and automation efficiency is to go ahead and take a deep dive into what are the current automations that you're running, what is the impact that you're generating, are these automations necessary in the first place, and if not, how do you implement that. You can use tools like make.com, N8N, and to go ahead and set up these automations. Claude and other tools like Manus can go ahead and simply, you just give them a use case, they will give you a step-by-step process with code included, where you don't need to understand code, which is vibe coding at the end of the day. And then you can simply implement those things to go ahead and set up a detailed automation guide yourself. And you can debug it, you can test it, you can implement it at least in-house or for your own clients. Then you have reporting and recommendations. You collate all these things. You have a complete end-to-end data. These, ladies and gentlemen, are the steps that you need to go ahead and execute step by step and collate all of them together, put it into an LLM or put it into Manus.ai to go ahead and give you a consolidated report of end-to-end lead gen that you either want to do it for your client or you would want to do it for yourself. This is how you can perform an AI lead gen using AI-powered lead gen audit for fixing the gaps in your funnel and to make sure that you have a seamless lead generation funnel. Things to remember: your data has to be accurate. It cannot be inaccurate. It cannot be half baked. And make sure you keep, and the most important thing is, this is an ongoing practice that you have to do at least a couple of months, at least once in a couple of months, to go ahead and you have your data in check, and you also have your lead scores in check. Thank you so much. That's about it. See you in the next video. If you like this video, please share it. And I think more business owners and marketers should need to understand this. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Ciao.